road rage. Which I'm very susceptible to, which I hate.
Sure.
I was like picking up my family at Burbank Airport like 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I'm like pulling, I see a nice little spot I can come pull up.
Yeah.
And I'm going in, and there happens to be another family there, and there's a dad there, and they've got all their luggage or whatever, but the spot's open. I'm pulling up, and he goes, move along to me in the car. And I'm like, oh, I'm so pissed. I'm like rolling down my window. I'm like, I'm picking up my family too. That was all I had.
Perfect.
And
no notes.
And I find myself kind of like hesitating. I've already got all our luggage, and we should have left 2 minutes ago. And I'm like, but it's too far. He's like at the back of a Suburban. I'm like, okay, this is pointless.
Families, it's just such a powder keg with two men. Like, forget it. Forget it.
And the traffic.
And you're right. He was wrong.
This is like a bad situation. This is bad. I got to get the best thing I can do is just leave right now.
Welcome to Tank Top Talks with Matt Braunger. I am your host, Matt Braunger. Tank tops are ridiculous, but they feel good. And the reason why they feel good is because they're ridiculous. Allan McLeod. See? I ate it. Allan McLeod. My body was like, that's not how you say it. For people listening, I fucked up his name for the first time. I never said it out loud to him.
I get it.
But to lots of other people.
I don't say my name
and they were like, who?
Much either, so.
Okay. Allan McLeod. Let's talk about your tank.
Oh, this is an oldie but a goodie.
Mm-hmm.
I like the color of it. This tank lives in my like a canvas bag full of other beach paraphernalia.
That's where they live.
That's where I throw it on.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's next to like a deflated floaty and but my favorite thing in there is my poncho towel.
Oh yes,
you know what I'm talking about, what surfers use.
Mm-hmm. My daughter has one that's pretty. I covet it. It's got some cool colors. It's like it's basically a towel you wear on your shoulders, and it has a hood.
Yeah. I love it. And I was like, does this qualify as a tank? Because I prefer the poncho towel in general, but I don't know that it qualifies.
Here's the thing. The rule has been thrown out the window in a couple different ways. Steph Tolev was on, and she wore what she called a muscle tank. To me, it was a muscle shirt, but okay. Mm-hmm. We had Sherry Cola on, and she insisted on wearing a light jacket over her tank top. And I'm like, look, hey, that's fine. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to fight you. You know what I mean? Daniel Van Kirk came on with like a zip up survival vest. It's just the main rule is like it just come to no sleeves, and it's like I'm not. Yeah,
good to know. No, I went with a more traditional route.
But
have you ever walked around in one of those poncho towels before?
I've never worn one. No.
Oh, you gotta treat yourself.
Okay.
I was just camping up in Big Sur with the family and another family, and there was a day we went swimming out in like the Big Sur River. Mm-hmm. Very cold. It was very cold. I regretted the choice to jump in there for a while before my body acclimated. But when I got out, I put on the poncho towel and then eventually took my shorts off underneath there, which is what it's for. And then I just like kind of raw dogged it for like 6 hours or whatever. After that, I was just like wandering around the campsite, just my poncho towel.
Nice.
To the point where I forgot that I was not wearing anything, but I was feeling so good.
That's so great.
That I was just kind of sitting from the campfire, and my son is sitting across from me, and he's like, Dad, put on some pants. And I was like, oh, right, sorry.
That's so funny.
But then I was like, I got, sort of adamant about, no, what? I'm not going to put on pants. I'm camping. I'm still, I'm mostly covered if I'm not like sitting like man spreading up by the campfire.
Sure.
I can make that adjustment. And then I'm walking around the campground, and somebody, a guy's like, a stranger's like, hey, are you Allan McLeod? And I was like, oh, yeah. Hey, man. He's like, oh, yeah, I like your work or whatever. Like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, I got to go put some pants on.
Yes, the public.
I didn't realize.
My public is here.
I did not realize. I was like, I thought I was anonymous out there. Not that happens that much, but I was anonymous in my poncho towel.
I love that you just got comfortable enough to just be like, hey, like, because at a certain point, And I feel like a lot of the young people have figured that out, too, where it's just like, you got to kind of just be comfortable with yourself. I'm sure there's people out there that are way too comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I was in my 20s, I would wait way too long to do laundry because the laundromat was like blocks away. You know what I mean? So I remember this like it was yesterday. I took all my laundry and I threw on the oldest pair of jeans I had. No underwear because all the underwear was dirty. And I went there and I just put the laundry in and like, turn it on. I'm just sitting there manspreading before we had the term. You know what I mean? And these two kids are running around playing. And I go, it just feels drafty. And I realize I am hanging balls out of a hole in my jeans. Hanging balls. And I remember closing my legs and covering as the kids ran around the corner where I was like, I was this close to accidentally exposing myself to a minor. You know what I mean? Now that's way too relaxed.
Right.
But you walking around covered and this guy sees you, it's like, it's one of those things where if I like someone's work and they're kind of bumming around, but they look comfortable and stuff, then I'd be like, this is great. Yeah. Look it out, like I'll randomly see like Chris Pine around and dazzlingly beautiful man, but he just kind of looks insane. And he's giant balls. Beard and so his balls are out. His are okay. Not mine. No, you know what I'm saying. We
used to call that hanging brain.
Hanging brain, that's better.
Did you ever heard that one?
I remember hanging brain. I remember, hanging brain. Remember Chris Fairbanks, who's been on the show, had a bit about he was having I'm gonna butcher the joke, but he's having a sleepover and his dad asked if we wanted to see his Purple Heart, and I didn't realize that was something he actually been awarded, but it just turned out to be a picture of him squeezing his balls. So.
Oh no!
Sorry, that's one of those dumb jokes. But
we're there.
It's funny that you were like, "Wait, people, they know who I am. I have to pretty it up a little bit."
I felt exposed at that moment. That was when I really felt exposed.
That's hilarious. How long was your trip?
It was about a 3-nighter. Yeah, we did three nights out there. Nice. I love that area. You go up there much?
I just drive across it. Across that big bridge. I've never stopped. It's like I'll occasionally kind of go, oh, I should surprise my wife with like a night at was it Big Sur Inn or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's like $5,000 and it's something so expensive that you're like, what comes with this? And I've heard nothing but it's dazzling and it's incredible and stuff. But
I've never stayed in a physical location.
You just like always camp.
Built location. I've always camped out there.
Cool.
And then we just like wander around. We did go to and I don't know if it's the same place. We went to a place called Deachin's for brunch this time, which is a small hotel, roadside hotel that I'd read about. Beautiful, just cabins and just a great spot. But yeah, that place just is totally worth it. I don't know if you're ever kind of cruising through there. Deachin's, it's like I can't remember if it's north or south, but it's like a very short drive from like the Henry Miller Library. And those are my Big Sur tips.
There you go. Nice. Yeah. Like I don't really know much about, there's all these Californian stops. I'm always getting served, FOMO, material where it's just like, check out this roadside inn, check out this, dive bar buried deep in the mountains.
Served
like all this
you've
stuff.
Been served.
A guy shows up. I wish. That'd be so much better. Just some random like riding the rails hobo is just making a living by just panning out these things. Just like this is a bar you'll never check out. Enjoy your
Santa
stupid
Cruz.
life.
You've never been there.
It would be more honest. You know what I mean? Than the engagement farming that Instagram does to me. And TikTok. When I look, where it's just like, oh, here's a train that goes through a part of California you've never been, and they serve wine and snacks, and you just like, I'll show it to my wife, and she's like, okay, when? When?
Yeah, when's
this going to happen? Fuck. Damn it. And then I want to say that to Instagram, but I can't.
Yeah.
Every time I call, Steve Instagram is not accepting calls.
Right. Yeah. When do we have time? We're not influencers in that way. So
and
it work.
It's all this stuff is for the trust fund kid. All of this stuff is, or for the person who, the family who has, they're in direct proximity kind of thing. Like the planning it would take. And it's like, I might do that. Like before my kids started first grade, we just had a weekend, just the two of us in Santa Barbara. And it was great. We drove and, bounced around and went to aquariums and stuff. And it was like this, or actually just a day and a night. And the next day drove back. And it was like awesome. That's a great thing about California. You can kind of just do that. Oh, yeah. You know? But yeah, some of those things I get served. I'm like, no, but like Big Sur, I know nothing about it besides just driving through and it's gorgeous. That's it.
That's what it is. Yeah. The whole town is just it's Highway 1 and that's it. That's the whole town. There's not like a little town square. Unless there's a secret town square that they don't tell people about. It's very like locals, like this is, the proud people that are proud to be there, but the whole thing, the whole engine of Big Sur is just the people driving through, stopping off for a couple days.
It's not like Ojai, where people are just moving there in droves.
Oh, yeah.
Like these little towns where people like longtime Angelinos are just like, I want the simple life. And Ojai people are like, we don't want you there.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't seem that way to me. So the podcast is Walkin Around.
Walking About with Allan McLeod. Yes. It's close to Walking Around.
Okay.
I mean, it is Walking Around. That's what it is.
Sure.
But it rhymed with Talking About. And so that's kind of why maybe. And
I like that because it is, you are walking about something like, the English, phraseology, but also we're learning about the area.
Yeah.
We went to the downtown park, I forget the name.
LA State Historic Park.
There it is.
Yeah.
And so we walked on that one in the episode that I was on.
Right.
And it was great.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Oh, dude, it was a blast. It's fun. Like, I was like, man, the regular podcasts like this one sure suck because we're just sitting the whole time, with that one, we're kind of walking. And
I've got the treadmill going under here.
Oh, you do? Oh, cool.
Listeners can't see that.
I just have electrodes attached throughout my body to stimulate the muscle reflex.
Yeah, if you see my arms.
You're just constantly. And you, are you liking walking? I think it's stuck. What was that? Your idea to do the Walkin About thing? Oh
yeah. That was I love audio walking tours. So I was very much inspired by like museum audio tours or Rick Steves,
sure, of course,
the European traveler, great American ambassador. Rick Steves has amazing audio tours when you're traveling through Europe that I imbibe in when I'm traveling through Europe. And so I realized nobody does that. I've listened to some, where was I? I guess maybe in Boston, maybe years and years ago, somebody took the time to make something that I walked around Boston like that. But nobody does it in LA. So I was working on, that was what I was initially kind of working on for an insanely long time around it was sort of like a thing I started doing. I was coming off of like a show of a show called You're the Worst was ending.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to do something. And then, so I started making audio tours and then, it's such a niche thing.
It's such an interesting idea. And such a good idea too, because the amount of times I've been somewhere and I'm like, I wish I knew the story of this.
Yeah.
And if you could just go boop,
Yeah. And I love those. And so, so I was doing that and requires a lot of research and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And then, my producer, Harry Nelson, I bumped into him at like a Christmas party one time and he was like, "Hey, Molasses Boy." It was just a nickname that I have, Molasses Boy.
Okay, we got to get into that.
We can unpack that. But he was like, "You got any, podcast ideas?" Like, well, I like to do walking tours. And then so we sort of deconstructed it into what Walkin About is now. So there is this sort of cheesy narration that I like to do, which is sort of part of the walking tour tone. And then it's just really an interview and talking about a place and sort of celebrating, just like a space that you can live in as a pedestrian, look around. And I found that, knowing researching places, whether it's in LA or wherever, just connects me more to the place. And walking around on foot, I feel more connected to a place. You know, it's just so much better. LA, obviously, and many other cities are places that you're experiencing in a car. Yeah. And it's just very isolating. Yeah. And so being around so you can hear the birds chirp, even if you don't know the history of a location or whatever, is just makes you feel less alone. Yeah. And LA is a really hard town to Griswold. It's like a term I use. Like when I'm like, if you're going on vacation somewhere, don't Griswold it. Don't be like, we got to see everything, because there's no way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're setting yourself up for failure. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like that Bourdain thing. Go where the locals go, sit down, get a coffee, get a beer, whatever, drink in the atmosphere, strike up a conversation, go buy a book somewhere, you know, stay a while, stay in a place. And walking around is a great way to do that. I like finding interesting neighborhoods wherever I go and just park in my rental car or whatever. Or if I didn't rent a car, you know, take a cab or a bus and then just walk around and see what I find. And I'll cheat. I will look on my phone and be like, oh, where's a coffee or something like that? Oh, totally,
you know, where's a good place to eat? But that said, it's not about, you know, just going, seeing it, taking a picture, going away. Yeah. That never stays. It's like, I'm definitely, and my wife and I talk about this, we're much more collectors of experiences than things. You know, I mean, love that. It's because I just don't, I'm not a car guy. I appreciate all, you know, that kind of stuff. When someone has an enthusiasm that's so specific, that's great. That's cool. But I really like going places and just doing, all right, what do you guys like to do? You know? Yeah. You know? Oh, totally. Or even just watching them do their thing. I don't necessarily need to be a part of it, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. I feel like, LA is becoming more of like a situation that you can experience a couple of different fun things in a day now that transit has grown so much and since the time that we've been here. Yeah. So it's getting better and more doable and you don't necessarily have to rely on the car, but the world is what it is. Society is what it is. It's built around the car. Cars kind of, you know, this is my, like, you know, my axe to grind, but cars do kind of like ruin cities in a lot of ways. Oh, yeah. So, absolutely. So it's the just environment. Like, well, right. Yeah. You know, so it's like, you know, you have to make a special effort to try to access, you know, your town or your city or wherever you're traveling on foot more often than not. Yeah. And so then that's hard, but once you do, it's very rewarding and there's a lot of benefits. No, it's absolutely true. And someone made a comparison between New York and LA, which is a trite one, but I don't think it's entirely incorrect. And first of all, I'm always like, you can't compare New York and LA really, because New York is a city, arguably the city. Yeah. LA is a city state. It's just not, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just sprawling and la la la. But what this person said was the reason why people they get along and vibe a little bit better in New York is because they have to be together, because almost no one drives that lives in the city. Yeah. You're always on transit. You just have to know you first or whatever, you know, to deal with the situation. You have to deal with people in public. Whereas in LA, we're shut in these little, you know, steel capsules that are moving amongst us. And it's like, that does play to the thing of I want my own space. I don't want to deal with this stuff, you know, and I kind of try to find like a happy medium. Definitely love my own space and my own, you know, my where I live and all that stuff. But like, I do like getting out. That's one thing I really love about New York, is just going and hitting the streets, just walking until I pass out, you know? It's like stepping into like a river and just like, I'm in the flow with people. And beautiful people walking around in New York, by the way. It's absurd. What the heck is going on here? Absurd. I think it's the walking. I think it is the walking. Yeah. You'll see like a people of all ages that are just in incredible shape. You know, I mean, I can't believe it when I'm there. And I think it's like, look, LA, we have no shortage of attractive people. And it's one of those things that I mean, hottest guys you could imagine and youngest. But it's like, I like that it devalues that completely, at least to me, where I'm just like, I'm not like, I'll definitely be like, wow, that's a good looking person to myself. But who gives a shit, really? You know what I mean?
No,
but
I'll give them like a full obvious stare. I'm scanning.
What do you fucking got?
Like,
what are you working with?
What do you got going on?
I'll just say it to him. Think she's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like, but for some reason in New York, it could be like the style and the level of cool that New York has. I'm routinely like, did someone just break a lock on a cage full of models? This is crazy. Men and women. Just like, what the fuck? And I'm talking your classic hot ages, you know, say 20, 20 to 35 or whatever. Like, just ridiculous. I'll find myself in like a bar or a restaurant and just be like, I just don't. Did they interview everybody here to come in and they let like one troll in? And I don't think I'm hideous, but I get in there and I'm just like, my Lord. You know, I feel like a country yokel, like walking the streets of New York. I'd be like, "Oh, golly!"
And I think it's the walk-in. The cars making us have to work a little harder to look good over here.
Interesting.
In LA.
Yeah.
We don't get to. We're not if you probably did a butt to butt comparison, they probably got a little tighter butt.
For sure. All that walking. All that standing on the train and your core strength getting built by getting moved around.
I mean, we have stairs all over LA, but we don't use them as much because we're not walking to the old red line car anymore.
Yeah,
like we used to. So we don't have the butt bust walks that we need to
not
really
enough
compete
butt busting going
with the
on.
East Coast butts. But also it's not just that physical toll. It's the mental toll, the road rage. Which I'm very susceptible to, which I hate.
Sure.
Which is, excuse me, my number one thing that I dislike about driving is the mental toll that it takes on you, making you angry, and
also, the whole pseudo badass that we all have. You know what I mean? Like someone did a great video. One of them was a friend of mine. I'm blank. It'll come to me in like 30 seconds or so. But like it was just about people. Vin Diesel, dear friend, Vincent Diesel. Vinny. No, it was just if we talk to each other in the street the same way we do in cars. And at one point, he's just behind a taller guy who's just looking at his phone, and the guy goes, "Go, tall guy, go!" Screams to the back of his head, and it was so funny. And they're just like walking, "Oh fuck you, no fuck you," as they're walking, but then they walk away, And it's really, really funny. But when I have like an altercation with someone, and it doesn't happen a lot. I had like one guy, I was in line at a Whole Foods, and like he was behind my wife. He couldn't get around. He's like, excuse me. And I was like, whoa. And I just went, relax, man. And my wife just looks at me like, why? Because of course that dude's a fucking powder keg. And he comes back and he gets not this, but close. And he's like, you know what? I am relaxed. What if there was a handicapper? And I'm just like, the dude's talking like he's just, but he does seem like he's not like gonna jump me, but he's also just like, I finally found someone to lecture. And I'm just like going, dude, she didn't hear you. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. And I'm just like letting him burn it off. And I was like, all right, so it was this thing where it was like, and my wife was like mad at me. And I'm like, you're right. Why the fuck did I say anything? She didn't give a shit that guy's,
Yeah.
But it was just, if you said that to me, I'd be like, cool. All right, dude. All right. No fucking way. But just because he was like talking that way with my wife, I was like, you could fuck yourself. But that said, if you're smart, generally speaking, in a situation where someone is like doing something that, you're not going to scream right at them or, and they're not going to scream at you. But because we're in these caps, so it's like you can extrapolate that and go, okay, what else that's negative is this kind of keeping me from with connections to other people or not connections? Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
so it's just too easy to tell someone to fuck themselves in your car where it's like, you're mad at something that happened earlier in the day. I've been in therapy long enough to know that this person that cut me off is not my problem. If I'm vibing, having a good one and the kids in the car and we're laughing about something, someone cuts me up and be like, whoa, I'm going to be like, well, that happened. And I'll laugh it off. I'm not going to try to chase him down. But I remember in my, angrier days getting cut off and being like, I'm going to follow this fucker to his house. And it's like, what the fuck? What? No, you're not. It's like, whatever this person is doing is not that bad for the level of reaction it inspires in almost all of us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I hate that I can be like, I'm not like on a hair trigger if I'm just kind of wandering around, generally speaking. I can't speak for how I would have reacted. I think I probably would have done the exact same thing at the Whole Foods interaction. And I always am it's like, okay, always better to de-escalate.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go over in my head like, I would have really got him if I'd said this.
Oh, dude.
Whatever that.
You know how many times in my head I was like, not should have, but I'm like, why didn't I just call him the sheriff of Whole Foods? But it's like that would have been fucking gas on the fire.
That's you at night, like
no, but
it's going to sleep.
But my wife had a great point where it's like I realized no matter what I came into my head for, like, oh, what a great comment, all that's all he wants. He just wants to engage. Yeah. This dude came to that thing with some fucking hot poker up his ass because something happened. I don't know what. Yeah. Don't want to know. But like, I had a thing with my wife and I once where we were like on this private area. We'd wandered on this private area of a beach. We didn't realize it. And then we were like, oh shit. And the tide's coming in and there's like stairs up to somebody's house. And we just ran through the backyard and down the street. And a lady bursts out of her front and we're like, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We were stranded. And she just kept going, sorry doesn't cut it. Sorry doesn't cut it. That could be a liability. That is so irresponsible. Sorry. And we're like, we're sorry. We're just like, because she's right. We're just like, we're sorry. But it's like, we could have just jumped in the ocean and swam over the rocks and like, no, I'm not going to endanger my fucking life. It's my fault. I'm on your beach. But anyway, but she's. I
think she was wrong.
Here's the thing. In my head, I don't really know, but I was like, okay, but people who own a mansion on the beach have no chill. There's no chill there.
I know.
That's how you get that mansion.
Like I own the beach. If I own a mansion, you have to destroy all the chill inside of you
to chase money or whatever, or that money has crushed the feeling out of you. Anyway, but like my little armchair therapy session here about this woman, but she came out so hot that was like the fact that we were like, you're right, and we're just walking away saying we're sorry. Like I have in video, and we're like, we're really sorry, no matter what. And then as we're walking away, she's like, I hope your kids don't, whatever. We're houses away. And I'm like, she almost got me. She almost got me to run back. But that's the thing. That's all she wanted. Was for me to engage with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, she's right. I'm sorry. I was on your property. I'm really sorry.
But the tide was coming in. The ocean was coming up.
Yeah. But she wouldn't even hear that part. But the thing is, it's like, Kara's like, all she wants is for us to yell, fuck you, or something like that. Because then she's like, oh, you. But the thing is, I realized we gave her a magical gift. Because now she has a story to tell all her friends. She's got a story
now, yeah.
She's watching Fox News a lot. They're trying to take our land. They're coming onto our property. I have video.
The old couple with their guns.
She's got to be like, she shows her friends the video and they're all just pissed because we're white. Oh, fuck. Why are you showing this to us, Cheryl? Did you see?
And they're like, the white people.
I think they're in disguise. But it was that thing. It's like I learned from the Whole Foods thing, from that thing. I learned such a lesson of just like, I'm not gonna get like, I'll defend myself for sure. But if it comes down, it's this situation where, let me argue with you over this dumb situation. You know what I mean?
I don't know what it is. I wish I could. I have to work on that big time myself.
Sure.
Walking helps. But yeah, I was like picking up my family at Burbank Airport like 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I'm like pulling, I see a nice little spot I can come pull up.
Yeah.
And I'm going in and there happens to be another family there and there's a dad there and they've got all their luggage or whatever, but the spot's open. I'm pulling up and he starts, I don't know if I can demonstrate, just like, move along to me in the car. And I'm like, oh, I'm so pissed. I'm like rolling down my window. I'm like, I don't have anything great to say. I wish I had a cool thing to say.
And you don't,
I was just
sir, your car is not pulling up.
Yeah, I was like,
that's
no
the
one
rules
parked here.
I'm here first.
I was like, I'm picking up my family too. That was all I had.
Perfect.
And
no notes.
And then I get out, and then my wife and son are standing there, and like his like little girl is like staring up at me, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible.
Man.
And then so I've got to just get them in the car, and then I find myself the impulse to like, he's already moved on. He's putting stuff in his car, whatever car pulled up for him.
Oh, Jesus.
And I find myself kind of like hesitating. I've already got all our luggage, and we should have left 2 minutes ago. And I'm like, but it's too far. He's like at the back of a Suburban. I'm like, okay, this is pointless.
Families, it's just such a powder keg with two men. Like, forget it. Forget it.
And the traffic. And you're right.
He was wrong.
This is like a bad situation. This is bad. I got to get the best thing I can do is just leave right now.
I had the perfect kind of moment where I remember I was going to go to eat lunch at this place I liked. And I went, and there's not a lot of places on this park on the street, but I never forget. I have like music blaring in my car, and so I'm windows up, and I pull into this space, and it's as far as I can see an empty street. But as I'm pulling up, I guess it's like the timing. This woman pulled out like behind me and was like going to do this, right? And I got out, and the woman jumped out of her car, and she goes, "You are a fucking asshole." And I'm like, huh? Why? And she's like, I was pulling out to go into that spot because my friend's going to use my driveway. You knew I wanted that spot. You knew I was pulling out. You saw me turning. And I was like, I swear to God, lady, I didn't. I knew none of this. Okay. Maybe I was lost in my own world. I was listening to music. I didn't see you. I swear to God, I'll move. I don't care. If your friend's coming, I'm not in a hurry. I'm just going to grab a lunch by myself. I see a spot up there. I'll take it. Is that cool? And she's like, you could see, she thought she had a moment where she's going to fucking dress someone down so hard. And she just goes, yes, thank you. It was this thing of like, she had to eat it so bad. Because I didn't. And I didn't have any moment of like, but it was so crazy to me. Like, I felt like that. Do you remember that scene in Simpsons where Ned Flanders snaps? And he just tells everybody, Homer, you are a useless. He just all the goodness, and he tells everybody the shit that they are, and he's right. Everyone he says, Mo, you're the most bitter man in the town, and that's saying something, whatever. It's all just like mean but true shit. And then Lenny just shows up and he goes, and you're probably the worst of them all. And Lenny's like, hey, I just got here. What'd I miss? What's going on? Like, he doesn't know why he's getting yelled at all. I felt like Lenny in that scene where it was this woman just been yelling at people, and I showed up and I just caught strays.
Wow.
But it was like
you de-escalated perfectly.
Because I just didn't, I wasn't even, I just was like, why? We're on an empty street together, just me and this woman. I didn't but I totally missed what I did. And maybe I just didn't, maybe I was totally wrong, but I just didn't catch it. But it was like, it was the funniest thing in the world. Just get out of my car and just have a random woman go, you are a fucking ass. It's like, I'd agree with you on that on certain levels, deep down inside. But what have you heard?
Maybe that goes against what I'm saying. The cars really brought you together there. It really had a moment. Maybe that's like...
There's always an exception to the rule. A little bit. So why Molasses? Is it Molasses Boy?
Yeah, Molasses Boy comes from me playing... I grew up in Mobile, Alabama.
Right.
Which you've been there now.
Shot a movie there, yeah.
That's right. And so I was playing football for a few years in high school.
Okay.
Poorly. I was very bad at it and slow.
Same.
And I was quite a bit. I'm like a big guy now, but I was quite a bit heavier in high school.
Okay.
And so I was just really slow I was a lineman.
So was I.
Oh, yeah?
For almost 2 weeks.
Well, I tried for 3 years.
Good
Never
for
really
you.
got better. But I was so slow off the line that the coach called me Molasses Boy. So,
that's so great.
Then cut to, I don't know, a few years later, I got... I did like a little interview with the local newspaper in Alabama. And it was, I used to do pop in on it on Drunk History.
Yeah.
Which you did you do Drunk History?
I
too?
never did.
I
don't think Derek really likes me or something. I don't know. Well, I don't know. This is all projection. I don't know. Okay. But it was always one of those things where I was like, I wonder why I've never done that. I wonder why I haven't. Because it's this thing of it's all kind of comic personalities like you and me. And then very, very famous people acting out the parts.
Right.
So I was never famous really enough, like maybe to do one of the parts. But I was like, I could definitely get drunk and do the thing. But I also was kind of like, maybe I dodged a bullet because I've definitely had some drunken incidents in my life. Not that
that should be caught on camera.
I'd be fine, but I have a bit of that fear of because it's like that's one of the reasons how I've been able to drink way less is I don't, if I ever go, I'm going to get drunk, it's bad.
Right.
Because I really do dig it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I just go, no, I'll just go have a few. I'll get a nice buzz. And I do.
Yeah.
But it's because it's like, I don't like being drunk. I don't like being hammered. Yeah, and it's like I think it
loses its luster.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those shows that like if you've got that much kind of metabolism, you're in your 20s or 30s. I think I would have done a pretty good one in my 30s, and that's when I was like, "Ooh, I'll do that." When he first started, doing it.
Totally.
But then after about a decade of him doing it, I was like, "Nah, it's not. I'm not interested."
Yeah,
anymore.
it gets like after as you get older, it's like, well, this is not worth the hangover.
No,
that it requires.
I was thinking that Duncan Trussell one where he barfs and he's like goes to the bathroom and throwing up and they're filming him and he's throwing up and he's like, I'm in hell. Like he just. I think I just kind of fell into it from like the video when they were doing the videos. Well, it was also, and it was you were like a UCB guy, you're a UCB guy, very, very funny improviser and actor. And I think it was I think you're kind of perfect for that. I looking back in my days of doing stand-up in my, like when things started kind of catching fire for me in like my early to mid 30s. And I feel like that period from when I started, like I quit my last real job at like 33, I think. And then so 34 to about 37, 38, I had some pretty hot years. And I think I might have had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about things. So like,
how can you not in this thing? Everything that you don't get is like, well, I don't like.
Well, and I also kind of was hanging out and getting loaded and like, might have said something to Derek about like, you're like, to me, I'm totally kidding, but I'm drunk. So it comes off real.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, yeah, you're this guy at the fucking show where he gets people drunk and lets them be funny. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're my friend, Braunger's just fucking taking the piss. He's just busting my balls kind of thing. But I could see it's like, if he's like, are you fucking talking about my show that I got on TV that way? You know what I mean? I could see myself kind of being a bit of a putz, if I'm honest. But it's like, listen, I'm in therapy and I just kind of look at everything all the time. I don't necessarily go, it's not going to weigh me down, but it's like, I'm just pontificating here. Cause there was a time where I was like, how come you never asked me to do this show? You know what I mean?
Well, even if it's, the chip, even if you, whether it was that or it wasn't that, I think the only way to breathe and let it go is to take some form of responsibility for it, because you can't even, you got to acknowledge it. Again, it could just be a figment of your imagination.
And like, there was so much time that I really had, not Derek, but like where I had people that I really like, ex-reps or people, like situations where I was just like, why this person kind of fuck me over. And you're just like, no, this is just how shit shook out, man.
Oh, totally.
It's like being mad at the universe. It's stupid. Right. You know what I mean? But anyway, that said, go on about your thing. I keep hijacking it.
So there was this article. The headline was from Molasses Boy to Drunk History, which is, I don't know if that represents
it's a
like
real zinger of the headline.
But
I just think someone reading that and being like, oh, did he die in a DUI related car crash? Because He's history now. He was drunken.
It pulls you in. There's some operative words.
You want to know the story.
It was a very kind article.
That's cool.
The writer was very kind to interview me, and I'm grateful for it. But the byproduct of it was that all my friends here learned of my high school nickname, Molasses Boy. And then once I was on the Doughboys podcast, they were talking about it on the podcast, and then it became like everyone in podcast world knows me as Molasses Boy.
That's great.
And so I hadn't thought about it in years, talked about that thing, and then just realized, I should just embrace this because it is pretty dead on as far as like my demeanor and my slowness in general.
You take your time.
I take my time. I like to take walks.
You're a Southern man.
Take the slow route.
Sure.
I think slowly. So I'm just, I might as well, I can't pretend to be anything. What's quick? What's a quicker liquid? Water Boy?
Yeah. Mercury Boy?
Mercury Boy. I'm not Mercury Boy. I'm Molasses Boy.
And I don't really want to hang out with Mercury Boy. Because I'll be honest, I used to get, I still always, for the most part, get excited to perform. Because it's always like, this is such an honor. You know what I mean? Even where if I'm playing a club and it's like a tiny crowd, I'm just like, I'm going to give them a goddamn show. You know what I mean? You're just like, I'm so glad. And I say that. I'm just like, I'm so glad you're here. I used to have a bit about it in my I think I had one of my specials, but like because I used to open for guys who they would come out and be like, great. More people in my fucking hotel room. I guess let's go. He'd say it to the audience. And I'm like, dude, but they're here.
Yeah.
You should yell that at like a packed freeway or an apartment building or another bar or something like that where people are
that kind of stuff
there.
Makes me bristle a little bit when people comment on the crowd size or reaction.
But I used to get a little too excited and burn through jokes. I'd go so fast. And I did this in high school too, in like school plays, where I wasn't nervous. I was just like, keep the act moving. And it's like, yeah, but nobody can understand you. Slow down. Especially if the character was like a big character, like frenetic or something like that. I mean, there's a character in Auntie Mame who was like, I basically did Phil Hartman's Ed McMahon. Yes, you are correct, sir. But I was like, his whole thing is he keeps bringing out the cocktail the wet bar, and he keeps making these drinks for people, and I'm just like gregarious and just at a cocktail party because you're supposed to just be this like buffoon, and I remember I would do it too fast, and I remember my then girlfriend in the wings going, slow down, like that, like just doing like that, and it hit me, and I was like, oh, and I did the next line normal. And it's that thing, but
the audience stood up and
they were like, you made an adjustment that we understood. Stanislavski would be proud. And he can take direction from his girlfriend. No, but like I would go like get so excited for like doing the next joke or whatever like that. It just go too fast. So it's like I've kind of been that, but it just doesn't serve you at all. So it's like you going through life that way is a good move. I mean, that's the John Wayne thing. His whole thing was just speak slowly.
Oh, really?
And it makes people pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this guy's not in a hurry to. When people get nervous, they talk fast. They do. Well, what's going to make you happy? You know, it's like a people pleaser trait. Whereas you're just like laid back and talking. It's like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm getting a chance to see who you are.
Well, when you're acting and stuff, do you get that? Do you get the note to say it faster?
Yes.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just have to remember that everybody hears that note sometimes, I guess, or maybe a lot of people. Well, and it's not also, everybody, but
it's a thing of when you're acting. The thing is, you want to show them. You want to sometimes have the thought, and often the thought doesn't go with the line.
Yeah.
So if your line is, "I'm glad you're here," but you think this guy's a prick, you're like, glad you're here. It's like, because the thought is, fuck you, but the line is glad you're here. But
what do you think
feel
about
like
this? Like, glad you're.
Can I
hear? Can you do that faster, Alan? No.
Well, I mean,
John Wayne.
I feel if you take too much time, there's maybe too many thoughts get seen, if that makes any sense. So sometimes you want to share, you want to just like give all, no, I'm saying, you want to do another one?
Glad you're here.
So
that one I'd cut the space between the words.
And you were almost singing kind of on that one.
It was a little bit sing-songy.
Did you know Matt Dwyer at all?
Oh,
Chicago guy.
I remember Matt Dwyer.
He had a bit that was the worst line reading ever that I always think of. It's like, what was it? Where are we? Anyway? I don't know why. But it's just, this is like so dumb. Working on acting is so hard, but it's also so dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But I think that's kind of why I dig it.
When you are working on, when you're trying to, you've got a good recall for jokes and stuff like that.
I wish I had it for like names or, passwords, but no.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Oh, like name pronunciations and stuff like that?
Bingo bango, Allan.
How do you like to, do you have a method of memorizing your lines? Because when you talk about embarrassing, it's like, for me, I like to listen, I record my lines and I listen to them while I'm on a walk.
Oh.
And then I'm like, sort of like, I'm just a man talking to himself, muttering to himself on the street. After a while, do you do any of that?
I can't do that because then I might be like, oh, that's how I should do it. And then I get married to that.
Oh, right.
The thing that I do, and I hate it so much. I don't like reading out loud. But that's what,
So when your kid is like, read me a story, you're like, sorry.
Fuck this. That's what I say. I crack another beer. Shut up.
Yeah, it's called an audiobook, babe.
I don't hate it. I read out loud to 2 books to her class, and that was actually really funny. And I felt like a lot of pressure too.
Oh,
like,
I've done that too. It is a lot of pressure.
There's a children's book called Underwear Wolf. Telling you, dude, I don't remember a time
that one's banned in the South. I think they don't put that in the library.
It crushed so hard. It was like, oh man. It was like I was setting off fireworks. Those kids are like, this guy rules, man.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, because the first one was a little more sentimental, and then that one was like, okay, finished on a high note, thank God. But it's like I just realized that when I was younger, I was like, because I learned to read extremely young, and I was reading books extremely young, and I read really pretty fast. Sometimes too fast, where I have to go back and read the page and go, I missed all this crap because I was speeding through. Reading out loud makes me slow down, and there's a part of me that goes, damn it, But anyway, if I get my sides, I read all the parts out loud, try to get to 50 times if I can. And it's brutal and it's arduous, but by the time you get that, you probably got the lines.
Yeah.
And also the thing I find, my acting coach taught me this, if you read you listen to how you read the other lines, you do the other lines better because you're not even thinking about them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Totally.
Because you're overthinking it's impossible not to, especially the first time you read it. You're overthinking your line, but the other person's line, you toss it away and you hear it out loud and you go, fuck, I wish I could say my lines as good as I say this guy's lines or this gal's line. Right. It's interesting. It's an interesting psychological thing. But it's not fun to memorize lines. But once you got them, then it's super fun because then you can just play with the toy you built. You know?
And I never know whether I've got them until it's like you're on the day and
of course,
and it's just kind of coming out of your mouth,
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, I think good, dude.
That's why like working stage actors, I'm just in awe of because it is so like Martha Plimpton, who I kind of know. A kind of friend of a friend. Mm-hmm. But I remember she was, every time they ask her, like, do you ever get nervous? She's like black, bottomless fear every time. Mm-hmm. Henry Fonda was a famous stage actor before he was ever in the movies, threw up every night before the show. Well, got to go vomit because I'm shitting my pants right now. It's like crazy, and not that everyone's like that.
Don't want to share a bathroom with Henry Fonda. My God.
I guess it wasn't, he was literally vomiting figuratively shitting his pants.
He's like, I'm shitting my pants was just like, now I got to throw
but
up.
But now.
This is so disgusting. Ugh. I'm what a sick fuck.
I got to stop drinking all this castor oil. Yeah.
I gotta do the show now.
But I think that's kind of why I really loved stand-up and especially improv when I first did it. I was like, I don't have to. I mean, stand-up, you have to remember something. You have to remember at least a concept or a bit. But because I can remember bits better,
right? I
don't have to write them. I've never written. The only time I've written jokes out is when you had to submit them for, like, when you got approved for like a late night set.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, just write it all out. And you're like, this is hell. I read my shit. I'm just like, this is terrible.
How do you know what you're going to say when you do, well, like you have your whole, like I go up and you're going to go do 20 minutes or something. Like you just have like sort of bullet points in your brain.
Well, a lot of my stuff is kind of story based, like not to answer a question with a question, but like, how do you tell that funny story?
Okay. Right.
You know, from a long time ago, how do you tell that now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you probably told it a bunch of times, but it's super fun because it's a funny story.
Right.
You know, like I told my friend Charlie's Bob Seger story on a radio station in Pittsburgh, and they recorded it, and they play that. People call in and ask for the Charlie story. My buddy Charlie, who used to work at like a lake resort, and it's just a story of Bob Seger getting incredibly hammered, and but like, but it was a story I always had in me that I love telling because I'll never tell it on stage. It's not my story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see you do stand up and you're like, I got to tell you the story of what happened to my friend. And I don't have the heart to be like, guess what happened to me? Like, I didn't grow up in Michigan. I don't have this story. So it was one of those perfect little things. But like, but it just comes down. It becomes just like that.
That makes sense.
Like, I mean, I was just thinking about Dan Mintz's 9/11 joke where he's like, I feel sorry, I'm not going to do Dan's deadpan style.
Okay, right.
But he's like, I feel sorry for people that their birthday's on 9/11 because they get their birthday presents and their 9/11 presents on the same day. It's like a perfect joke.
Yeah, yeah.
And for some reason, I was making coffee this morning and it hit me and I was like, just in my head,
Oh man.
Like, do you remember, like, have you ever done stand up?
It's elusive to me. No, I mean, I've done open mics. And I've done more, storytelling and then, like storytelling shows.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of like, it's definitely one of I wouldn't say it's the last frontier as far as live performance for me, but it is something that I do hope to, I wouldn't say like, become a stand-up, but add that to my live performance repertoire.
Sure.
Feel good about going in front of a crowd, not being a character necessarily, like doing a character bit.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I've done,
But no, your character bits are amazing.
I've done character shows, character bits, and then I will have told stories, and then I go to an open mic and eat shit and walk away going, well, I'm glad I tried that.
Didn't you do the character of the manager of like the grocery store? That there was like,
you know what? That's Joe. Oh crap. I think I know who you're thinking of.
Because it's like, he's almost doing a voice like yours.
We have been compared. People do compare.
Excuse me.
So yeah.
Sorry about that. I've seen you do a hilarious character.
That's a great bit. That's an incredible bit. Yeah. That's one of the funniest character bits. The grocery store. It's like, I don't have your recall, man. This is all I remember is
he's like, someone put something up in the break room and it's a drawing and it's a dinosaur and he's like, and I don't even understand, but he's like, the description, it's one of those bits. It's so well written.
Yeah.
You could give it to an actor and they would learn it and it would be not as funny as him, but like still funny.
Character monologue you could do for an audition.
Yeah.
But so I would do character bits with my sketch group or for a one-man show or something like that, but not that one. That's a really great one.
But like, here's the thing. I don't really necessarily think there's rules to stand up other than be funny. Mm-hmm. So like, I'll do characters, but they'll just be parts of stories. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
like
it's
shorter.
It's like you're doing the guy that you're talking about.
And so I'll do the guy's voice or whatever. And it's only because it's like I think kind of back to one on this, the thing of exploring places and being in places and listening to people. I forget the guy who wrote the show, the guys who created the show Billions and a bunch of other shows. They're brilliant, these two guys. And the guy was like, I always tell writers, just sit and listen to people, listen to conversations, listen to things happening. And like if the stuff happens to me where I get into it with somebody or like have a happy moment or something crazy happens and I'm around people for whatever, there's sometimes it's just like, okay, well that's going in there because this is just so ridiculous. Like I was in Vegas and a guy threw up on himself and laughed it off. Like a young guy, and he was like talking about how crazy his night was and getting excited, and then he was like, and just all over himself, and he laughed and went, "Look what happened to me," to his friends. Oh my God. And I was like, God, to have that confidence where at that age where it just doesn't matter. I'm young, who cares? You know? I was like, if I did that, I would clean myself off and cry and walk into a meeting. Like I would go to a 12-step meeting right then. But like listening to people is such a part of it, and I'm sure like that happens with you where you're like, I gotta write this down, this is so funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I should be like eavesdropping a little more. I should make that.
But I bet you do. But I'm not sitting there with a notepad stealing people's conversations. It's
no, yeah, I feel like I do try to like just kind of tune in to the area if I can. I feel like it's a form of meditation or whatever, walking around these places, and when I am not listening to your podcast or whatever I'm listening to, just like listening to, just like being there, is very meditative. Yeah, well, there was a thing like I was walking. This goes back to road rage and a thing. I don't want to repeat what the guy said. Actually, I was on the.
I don't think any children listen to this, man.
Well, it's the word. I don't want. It was just like it was like he. I guess he was calling someone the R word.
Yeah, I can see why you don't want to say.
But it was just like he was just driving by like in a big truck. It was one of these things. And I was like, well, that was unpleasant, so it is, but it does stick out. But those are the things you remember that people are, when people are arguing or having some crazy heightened moment or whatever, that's, but yeah, that guy was something was going down and I just heard a whiff of it as he drove by me on the sidewalk.
Sure.
So yeah, there's like, it's the symphony of the city, as my friends Neil Campbell and Paul Rust might say. Yeah. From their two other
incredibly funny guys. Yeah, like I think comedy aside, I think kind of what you said, being meditative. The thing I find when I'm in these places is I always think, I'll put my earbuds in and I'll listen to some, this music I've been into lately, or I'm gonna listen to this podcast that I don't miss an episode of or whatever. But I don't. I always just take them out, and just kind of hear life. I don't want to shut everything out. I always thought I would do that, being in New York because it's so loud, and I never do. If I'm waiting for the train, sometimes I take my mind off how hot it is down in the station, especially in like the summertime or spring. I'll be like, okay, let me listen to something while I sweat. So I'm not just counting the seconds till the train comes.
Right.
But that's about 5% of the time when I'm in New York. Usually I'm just like, I want to hear it all.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the best.
It is.
So if you take away anything from this, stop, look, and listen.
That's right.
And then walk. And also look and listen.
And make sure you stop and smell the flowers. I just thought of that. That's so weird. It's so weird that I just thought of it. 'Cause you don't think about smelling flower.
No, it's stiff. And take a deep sniff. You're not going to just smell the aroma walking by. You got to get your nose and.
Do you remember Vine? Vine?
Yeah.
And how there are all these young Vine stars that were basically doing jokes that everyone knew.
Right.
And you're like, such a cute kid. You think you just thought of that, you know? I wonder if there have to be podcasts like that where just like, you're just saying a thing that's, you don't know that stop and smell the flowers. Like,
yeah, I wish I had. Yeah, I hope maybe there's one like original idea that maybe came from this conversation today.
Oh no, it's so freeing that who said that about musicians? Like, there's 88 keys. That's it. That's it. And like, there's these guys. There's that guy who does that phenomenally successful podcast where he just plays songs for people and they go, what does that make you feel like, or whatever. Well, it's like really? it's always like a famous musician. It's like, guess the song in a couple seconds. So we like Flea and he'll be like, oh, that's the Buzzcocks. We had a tour with them. Or, you know what I mean? It always leads to something.
Nice.
So it's like these stories. But he's got these songwriters on who are they were like the guys that were working with like Sam Cooke or like, you know, Michael Jackson or whatever and writing these stuff. And this guy who helped write like a lot of these songs that are just ever present and stuff. He was like, I always say there's nothing new. I always say there's no new emotions. So you have to just find a way to express it in a song from your angle, or a new thing of like, here's how I feel about this emotion. You know, like we've got happy, sad, anger, whatever, you know, there's the list. And as it goes on, you're not going to come up with some new feeling.
Right.
It's all been felt. And you're not going to come up with a new thought or a new idea. Not really. And I think that's kind of freeing.
Yeah.
Really, that it's not.
It's a good baseline to start from. Like, look, I don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
No. And especially being in comedy, in a sense, all the jokes have been done. And you'll see someone and go, oh, he's like a little of this and a little of that. She's like a little of this, a little of that. I was just came off vacation and I was thinking about how, and I don't really watch Saturday Night Live, but I just feel like the new cast is so phenomenal right now.
Oh yeah.
They're all just so funny. And I was thinking about how cringily hilarious the Trump mom bit is, where the mom who's like, right.
Okay. I've seen a clip of that.
Beginning to think that maybe he lied. Mom, Jesus Christ, let me have it. You know, but it's like, that's what we're all dealing with, where it's like, wow, I've never seen something that's that funny and also finger in the pulse, that strong kind of thing like that. And I like, maybe because I'm an old guy now, but it's like, I look at them and I go, oh man, these kids, they're going to be fine, man. You know, it's so great.
Yeah,
but again, it's like, it's still just been done. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's fine.
No, I think it is accepting that it's fine is good, because I do think that maybe is one of the elements that makes me resist trying to do more, you know, stand-up type of live performance. Is that, well, what the fuck am I gonna say, you know? Or but you know, I will, and I appreciate being here today. I do appreciate, like, that's my maybe my favorite thing about this particular podcast is demystifying those sorts of things about stand up, because you when you organically get around to talking about stand up, it's always really interesting. I mean, the other stuff is interesting too, but that's always kind of particularly, I love, you know, to hear about that. I think that's encouraging, you know, for me and my personal journey.
Well, I mean, I was knocked out at how your podcast is pretty popular, man. Like, a lot of people who I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, I know that podcast. And I was really? Like, whoa, cool, man. You know,
I can't tell. I don't really like know what I'm not sure. I hope so. So. Unless you're not confusing me with Joe Rogan. Because that happens.
It wouldn't be the first time, but that's just because of your prowess in the ring.
But I know, I appreciate it.
And the thing, you're always trying to force fucking supplements on me.
You know, everybody should be taking creatine.
Stop.
But
I did eat creatine in my yogurt today, though.
This is a thing that somebody recently said, and I was like, really? Should I be? I guess
when you exercise, take a little, have the powdered one and put it, like, mix it in with something. If you do it when you exercise, because for a while, was like, I'll just take this every day, but it really fucking dries you out. You got to be I drink a lot of water anyway.
Where do you
but I was
get
just like,
even creatine?
We got to know a guy. Yeah.
Oh.
I know Liam Creatine of the Creatine family. It's the dumbest joke, but I will put a name onto any chemical or corporation. It's so fucking. Sorry, I don't know Ron Chuck E. Cheese. So dumb.
That literally has
it
a
always
name
makes me
in
laugh.
The corporation.
Why wouldn't you call Chuck? Call Chuck Entertainment Cheese. But yeah, you can get it. My wife just orders it in the mail in these little packets.
Okay, you can order it in the mail.
It does not taste good, but you can mix it in water and chug it. But it's kind of take it or leave it. People that take a lot of it feel super bloated and super dehydrated. So just take it easy with it. But it's good. It's really good for your muscles and bones.
Dang.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but back to you, Allan McLeod. I think you'd be surprised to find out who knows who you are and the impact you've had in your comedy. You know what I mean?
Well, so, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anybody can feel free to let me know personally my impact.
Well, you're a distasteful human being. No one wants to reach out and talk to you. No, you're like a baboon in a cage. People stop by, they look, and they walk. No,
they go look at the butt on that thing.
None of that is true. Is there anything you want to?
They have orange butts, don't they? Or is that a orangutan?
Is that who's the
baboons?
Baboons have the bright red butts and fangs.
Okay, right, yeah.
They that's some fucked up shit. Nature. You put fangs on an ape. Why? We were scared enough already of their speed and strength. Give that one long, sharp teeth. Oh, drunk nature. Is there anything you want to plug?
Just Walkin About, check out Walkin About. I do little batches of walks that, we release, like 6, 7 or 8 walks, and put them out there every so often. So we're rolling out right now with some, and
cool.
Got some fun ones on the way. I took a walk with Todd Glass the other day.
Fun.
That was such a delight because I just have a grin ear to ear whenever I see that man, and he's just one of the funniest dudes.
He's
ever.
A literal machine. It's one of those things where I always love being on the bill with Todd because he'll just fuck with something in the room. It'll be the funniest. Mm-hmm. I did a show, like just random stand-up show, I think in Santa Monica, and he kept moving this fan. There's this big loud fan, and he kept moving it around. He'd be like halfway through a bit and be like, I gotta. And every time, fucking everyone would crack up and moving the fucking fan. And it's like, of course, one of those had to be there things, but like, God, it's one of those always having fun.
Yeah.
And it's just infectious.
Yeah.
One of the funniest people alive, but also it's not, phoning it in. Here's the jokes, and I'm going to leave. And I'm going to make a moment out of this. I got to listen to that one.
It's on the way.
Okay.
On the way.
Great.
So that's it. Check me out. Look for me.
Check them out, folks. Thanks for being on the show, Allan. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
For sure.